Hello and welcome to episode 34 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here with the Iron Teeth faction in Cycle 55, Day 8. You might notice that we're in a little bit of a precarious position with our breeding pods and our water supply. And at first I couldn't really figure out what was going on with the water. This we know is because the berries haven't really fully grown back in yet, but we got so many beavers it doesn't really matter. The water, we've just kept adding more and more and more pumps. But the issue, I think, is because we only have 40 hauler beavers, and we have 519 beavers, all adults, that are consuming stuff faster than they can supply. And as a couple of you posited in the comments, we have fewer haulers than buildings that are prioritized by them. So, and we haven't even done all of them either. So we definitely need to be bringing some more of those guys in. So, first order of business should be to try and rectify that situation. And I just have to figure out where is going to make sense to put in more hauling posts and take care of some other stuff. Because it really shouldn't matter that we don't have enough haulers, except all of our pumping is so far away. And we don't have large storage tanks over here, so they have to just constantly go back and forth between these little things. So, I mean, I could redo this whole thing and have a big tank somewhere, but I kind of don't want to mess with it. So, the only thing we can do is just add more stuff. And we've got a couple options for how we want to do that. We could, with a little bit of work, put some on this edge here, just by building platforms up and then putting in some of these overhangs. But I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the best option for what we want to do. Not like it really matters where the hauling posts are, necessarily, as long as they have something to do. They're not going to be hanging out here anyway. But I think we're just going to have to take a good long look at the paths that these beavers are taking, and try to improve those if at all possible. Because it's not really, great how we have stuff laid out, but I don't think it's terrible either. Like, say this deep water pump, in theory, is putting all of its water. Actually, no, it's prioritized by haulers, as is this. I haven't prioritized all of these. So I actually probably don't need to have all the water pumps themselves prioritized, because then the beavers that work there can just go joop, 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 just like this. Sound effects included, or you're fired. So, I don't know, maybe we don't need to worry about it. The hauling thing, I know people will post comments constantly trying to tell me how it works, and I never ever figure it out completely. I just throw more beavers at the hauling posts until problems go away, which, I don't know, probably a better way to do that than the way I'm doing it, but that's just the way it is. It's probably fine. So what I think I might want to do is right here, not on the ground, but if we blast this down a little bit and put in some overhangs, I think that would be a decent place to go, because we're not going to be getting rid of any farming space. And I think that would actually look a little interesting. Maybe. So we'll put 3 of those there. We'll do the same thing on this side. That'll give us 2 more hauling posts with 20 additional hauling beavers for a total of 60. And there's probably a couple other places we could get away with doing this, but for where we are now, I think that, for one, would end up making this a little bit smoother of a transition around this corner. Would look pretty decent. And then, of course, we have space up here that we could also use for hauling posts. We could put in, for example, right here. Or, depending on how we want to do it, if we want to gain one more space, I could actually put a hauling post here and then move this path to this spot, which would also allow us, this is probably actually the best way to do this, also allow us to put in a rooftop terrace right here. Friends, I think that's going to be the way to go. So, let's go ahead and get that situated. Put those in like so, and make sure we have that ready to go for the beavers. Take this up to 10 workers. And there you go. Since we're already here, let's take a look The Earth Repopulator sitting at a cool 45%, of course, waiting primarily on the treated planks, which the builders will be working on. And yes, we do only have 2 builders' huts, and the one district center probably could build some more builders' huts as well. So, I mean, I like the idea of the hauling post being up here. So maybe these could be builders' huts. We can always change them out. No rule that says we can't do that. So, I'll tell you what. For the purposes of, you know, constructing this mess, let's just make these builders' huts. We'll give it a shot. Now, as long as nobody... Come on. As long as nobody... Click on the... There we go. As long as nobody steps on this while it's going off, then we're going to be in good shape. And they didn't, so that's good. Get that situated like so. Put the path back in. That should help out substantially. We still add 20 haulers, and we add another 8 builders. And they should be good to go. So the actual pumping rates of these... Productivity is really low, because they have to continue emptying stuff out. That's 55, that's 67, 56, 80. Okay, well that's not terrible, but ideally you want this as high as it can be. These are prioritized by haulers. What are they looking like? 66, 51, 73, 74. Alright, so that brings up an interesting challenge for us here. How are we going to solve that problem? Because I don't really have a good way to think of to deal with this. I also saw it in the comments that we don't have enough sluices letting in water into the reservoir, and that's why it takes forever to fill up. But, I mean, I think it's fine, honestly. I don't think we really need to be worried about it, but maybe that's just me. Go ahead and put this in triple speed. The beavers aren't going to die of thirst. We do have the capacity, pumping-wise, to make it happen. We just have to, you know, organize it a little better and get those haulers working. We are also only having 14-hour days, because I keep trying to lower that, but maybe we have to bring that back up. To see, already the water's going up. We're going to be fine. We just had to let stuff equalize a little bit. I know this is super ugly, but again, the berries only grow so fast, and of course they can't get to this gatherer flag until I put these overhangs in, which we have the stuff to do it. We did have the industrial lumber mills paused for a very long portion of the last episode, but I did correct that during a time lapse. Everything's fine. I've got plenty of dynamite because I put this in, and we've got the centrifuge going, making extract. Which we are running a little low on, but I think we're going to be fine. We got multiple factories for each type of food. We got algae, eggplant, corn, algae, eggplant, corn. Somebody did post a comment asking if those were set correctly to have 2 each, and the answer to that is yes. No problems there. Okay, so both of these are good to go. Yep. I see we have 28 homeless beavers. Part of the problem is we are slightly overpopulated because we had too many of these breeding pods. But now that literally all of the breeding pods have stalled, that problem won't be a problem for too much longer as the beavers start dying of old age and are not replaced. So it's going to be yo-yoing a little bit until we can get all of our berry harvesting set at the right pace here. And that's probably going to take about a cycle or 2. But, I mean, we're doing fine. We just have to optimize things. The farming situation is what it is. Still not entirely convinced we've got that fixed. But it hasn't become an absolutely horrible problem. I think a lot of it is just problems with the hauling and everything. So that should end up getting fixed slowly again. I really was hoping that this would be more or less finished by now. I know this is like the lowest priority thing. But I think we might be okay. Long term. See, the food is already up to 20... Well, it was 2,500. Now it's so on and so forth. The mushrooms... mushrooms are slowly declining over the past couple of cycles. And I know we mentioned it before. But we might want to look into building some more of those hydroponic farms. And I did kind of hem myself into this design with the exercise plazas up top here. I don't really have a good way to expand our production of any of this stuff. So that's going to be a fun problem to solve. I mean, I guess if I really, really wanted to, I could come over here with, say, the 4x1 overhangs. Except I can't in that exact spot. But I could go... Yeah, well, you know what? You know what? I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to not have... I don't see any beavers ever use this. So I'm... You know what? I'm going to... Alright, well, never mind. We just saw a couple of them do it. I was going to say, you know, I could just put the 4x1 overhangs and have another set of these here. But, you know, the way I built this really... really is not going to make that a viable solution, huh? I don't want to get rid of the campfires. I probably need more of those, honestly. Decisions. And the water is still a super low quantity. Like, this amount of pumps should absolutely be able to take care of 500-something beavers. Should not be a problem. That's a lot of pumps. Got 22. Unless I can't count, which is entirely possible. And sometimes has been independently verified. But I wonder if the problem is just these tiny tanks. I don't know how to fix that, though. Without having some sort of complete and total redesign of this entire thing. Like, I guess I could take out maybe these two pumps here and put medium tanks in. I guess that would be fine. Probably should be doing that anyway. So if I just do that, set those to supply. And then these small tanks on the corner, I mean... Oh, they're just so inefficient. That's probably what the problem is. Well, more storage isn't going to hurt anyway. Because, wow, we really only have less than 4,000 storage right now. Yeah, because I got that there, I got that there. The coffee now has to catch up as well, because remember, I got rid of this coffee brewery and did not replace it. At least one of you caught that in the comments of the previous video. So I don't know where I can put this. I really don't, because I did not have this set up in a super efficient way. I really don't know how I'm going to get away with this. I really don't. Because I guess I've got space here, but I have my my ladder comes up like this all the way here, because I thought that would have been a smart thing to do. Let's see. I mean, I guess, yeah, okay. Here's what we're going to do. I don't need to pause the game to do this, but we'll go ahead. Get rid of this path here. I need to make sure I didn't leave anything there. Oh, well, that's going to be fine anyway. I'm going to take this out, and we're going to just kind of redo this in real time. Are these fully charged? Yes. Okay. Alright, I don't think they're going to really care too much about coming to get this rubble, but I will give them a chance to do that. Let's see, there they go. Then I'm going to get rid of this bridge, and then I guess what we're going to have to do is move this one over. I know that's like the cardinal sin of, I use that term a lot, of building stuff in ways that don't really make sense, but I think it's going to be fine. I'm just going to have to disconnect this here. Because I can put the coffee thing just in this exact spot, or I can move it back one. Might actually be better to move it back one, depending on how you want to have it set up. So then I could have a little storage. Do I have coffee bean storage up here? Do I have coffee bean storage at all? Oh, I do. Okay. Well, where's my coffee bean storage? Is that way over here, probably? I can't really tell, but that's alright. Well, because I can't really disconnect this without it being just an enormous, huge problem. I don't know, man. This isn't built yet. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Decisions, decisions. Prioritize that, prioritize that. These small tanks are also prioritized by haulers. That's probably not helpful. So I wonder if I just unprioritize all. Well, that one's actually not. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Just rely on these larger ones. That probably is how I should have done it the whole time anyway, but... Okay, this is built. And that's disconnected. But they can still go across here, which actually that doesn't mean anything. Alright. So these were 6 buys, right? Right? Yes. Which I guess I don't technically need to have here, but... Do a 6 buy there, and then I'll do... I don't have to do overhangs, I could just do regular doohickeys here. So that goes there. That goes out there. And then this can go here. Just keep it nice and simple. So now I do have space. I do have space, depending on how we want to do this. Put in... How are these going to be 3x1s? Yep. I can put in 1 more tank. And then... Oh, this does require water. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. This could be... I was going to make it coffee, but probably makes more sense to have larger water storage here. Set to receive. So the haulers can just go just like that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Then I've got a ladder there, which means I probably, since we're already here, put this as a ladder, because I know I can't do anything in that exact spot, and have that come across. I think that's going to be our best bet. Nice, easy access. Hopefully take care of all of that stuff. We got here, these guys are still complaining they don't have enough berries. Probably have way too many of these things, but we're gonna see what happens, I suppose. We have 502 beavers. Design capacity of this, of course, is 485. Although I kind of want to add a little bit more by adding another one of these row houses, or another 2 of them or something. I don't know. We'll just see what happens, I suppose. Of course, this is the absolute lowest priority building because that's otherwise we wouldn't ever get anything done. Just trying to think. Would that make sense? We'll figure it out. We're just kind of in a state of constant flex here. Oh, hold on. Fewer of these have the doom warning, so I guess that's working better. Bushes still haven't all grown in yet. Most of them have, but not all. I wonder... I mean, I was going to grow additional crops here, but if it's got to be berries, then it might have to be berries. They can reach... This gatherer flag can reach all the way over here, and of course the forester can plant it. I guess I'll just go ahead and do another math. Numbered blueberries 15. It's better than nothing. You give them something to work for. Got a bunch of trees that aren't being cut. I know they're marked for cutting. That's not the problem. I guess it's really this shorter working hours that's causing most of our problems. Alright, so we know that's taking its sweet time. That's going to be its own thing. And now we have 7-day drought. And I think we might need to build some more of these flywheels. Just based on the amount of demand that is not going to be met because we don't have the engines anymore. because I took those out. Maybe should have left those in. But, I mean, stuff like, say, gears. We only need another 300 gears. We have 1,300, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause 3 of the gear things. How much does this use? Okay. Uses 1 gear every 2 hours. So how many of these produce? 3 hours for 1 gear. So every 3 hours we get 2 gears. And every 3 hours this uses 1.5 gears. So I guess that's fine. But we do have a big storage, so I probably could get away with pausing another one of these. Plank-wise, I think we do still need to be making a bunch of planks because we have to produce the treated planks, which, of course, 3 hours per treated plank. We have 3 of these, 1 hour, 1 treated plank. And I need another 837. So 837 hours, if you feel like doing that math in your head, that's a lot of days. It's a lot of days, especially when it's only 14 working hours in a day. We are going to have to raise this back up to 16, folks. We want to have any chance of finishing this anytime, even remotely soon. Wait a second. There's another hauling post. So we actually have 70. Nice. So this is now going to be an obtain water situation. This is set to supply, so hopefully that helps. Yes, I know food is precarious. Once again, when has it not ever been precarious? But I still feel like this is enough. It's just not being properly optimized. Like we have some, we don't have a lot. That's true. We don't have a lot, but we do have some here. We do have some that's not being fully utilized. But we got a lot of beavers. Got a lot of beavers we probably don't need to have. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, okay, these 3, yeah, these 3, actually, you know what? I'm just going to pause them right now. You know why? Because there's no rule that says I can't do that. Then these guys right here, we can also, that's definitely not on the pause key. There we go. So now I've got 6 of them paused. Because we don't need them. Probably should just take them out. But for right now, we know that's going to be a thing. It seems like we're finally having a surplus of the canola seeds. Although, I'm not sure how much of that I want to believe because we still don't have a ton of oil left over. And we don't have a lot of stuff to use the oil with either. So part of me feels like I need more land for growing crops. Other parts of me don't agree. It's just such a weird situation because stuff takes so long to balance out, right? Because different crops take different amounts of time to grow. And there's all these different things that we haven't really ever had completely figured out. So I mean, I've got the platforms already here. I can't really do too much with this space, more with this space. So I feel like I kind of need to fill in a lot of this right here. I know I've got the farmhouses, but they don't have to be in that exact spot. And these two still can reach stuff. I guess I could, if I really wanted to, put some more farmhouses over these mangrove trees. But this isn't even really enough. If it's the only thing they're going to eat, then of course they're all going to be gone. There's just so many variables we haven't really properly utilized, I don't think. But again, like what else are we doing? It's been such a wild yo-yo of different types of foods being produced and not being produced, and then now we have, you know, if you only have a couple things available, of course beavers are going to eat whatever's available, but if you have a whole bunch of stuff available, they'll pick their favorites, or they'll have some that are more predisposed to consume first, and then it makes it seem like you're producing too much or not enough or whatever. I don't know. Like, see, right here, we just, in the past couple hours in-game, have had a wild swing of what's available, what's not. So who knows? Not me. There's so little water going through this that I really feel like we should just go ahead and fill this in. Enough of it, at least. So, like, right there, and then right here, right here. That would give us a whole 6 additional squares for canola, which, you know, maybe would be an improvement, maybe would not. I don't know. But, tell you what, we sure could use any amount of help we can get. I just don't know that there's much more land I can use to grow, or what I can even put in, what, 18 squares that are left over here? Maybe not even 18, maybe 16? Yeah, it's 16. I've got 16 squares here. What am I supposed to do with that? I guess if you really, really wanted to squeeze out everything, you could build a bunch of those overhangs tall enough to where stuff can grow underneath. But I feel like at that point, if you're really scrambling for that much more, then you did something wrong. You did something very, very wrong. So canola there. Just get that going, get it growing, so on and so forth. It'll help. But there's just so many things that I think are going to have to be like a generational achievement for the beavers in terms of figuring out balances and everything. So here we are. We got 4 days left. Remember, it's a 7-day drought, so like a third and then some into it. We've got less than a third of this left. See, I never know. I never know how much power this is going to end up using. There's probably math I could do, whatever. I'm not doing it. So I'm going to turn off half of this upstairs amusement zone so that we don't lose bonuses, because remember, everybody still gets covered by this. This is just like a puff piece or whatever you want to call it. We got extra stuff we don't need but is kind of cool. And see, the rest of these I really can't do much of anything. We still need to be growing more stuff, and this was the whole thing I was trying to figure out before when we were doing this. Was I going to be able to get this all situated the correct way? I just don't know, man. It's like right here, if I wanted to put in another stack of these things, I could, but I'd have to remove all this, which would be a shame. But I kind of feel like we're going to need to, if we're going to keep the beavers alive, that is. I know for sure I need to have at least 2 more for the mushrooms, and I guess I could do 2 more for the algae too, but maybe not 2 more for the algae. Maybe 3 more for mushrooms and 1 for algae. So, I mean, if I did that, let's just hit pause for no particular reason. Then we'd lose the frog statue, we'd lose this terrace, we lose this hauling post. I'm like, I can put hauling posts wherever I want. That's not a problem. But I need to be sure about the best place to optimize for everything else. And right now, I don't really know that that's going to be the case. Well, you know what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Get rid of this. We can rebuild those things elsewhere. I think for right now, the most important thing is making sure we have the food. So, we got our hydroponic gardens here and here. This stack is algae. This stack, okay, well, I clicked on the wrong one, but you can see through here, this stack has always been mushrooms. So I think what I'll do is I'll keep with that. Mushrooms and algae here. And remember, we can just build the same stuff directly on top of this like we had before. It's just going to be a little bit of a process to get that figured back out. But I think for where we are right now with our food stuff that we have going on, it just makes sense to do it this way. Just get as much done as we can. It really shouldn't end up mattering. So this, I think, is going to make the most sense to have right there. These, of course, are going to be both mushrooms. And then put that path back in there. Plus, we can continue building this up if we absolutely have to. Remember, we also put 7 additional rooftop terraces back here. I think it's probably fine. And we have some over here we could also build on top of if we felt so inclined. So that's going to be what we end up doing there. And yes, we are time-lapsing again, friends, because I know how much you guys love it. But we have so much stuff that just has to equal out, and I don't know any other better way to do it than to just let the game run and figure things out. You can see there's already been some progress on the Earth Repopulator, which, of course, after these hydroponic gardens are put in place, should be the next big thing that these beavers get working on. So hopefully we can make some nice progress there today. Probably still isn't going to be finished because, you know, that's always how it works. But we'll let this run, I guess, through the end of the drought. And then we'll see where everything stands on the other side. All right, so end of drought, start of cycle 56. And you'll notice, if you were paying attention to the upper left here, we actually had another spike in population, which is hilarious considering I just keep pausing more of these breeding pods and they keep popping out. So make that make sense. But we did go ahead and get these hydroponic gardens up and running. Of course, they're going to take a while to start actually making mushrooms and algae. But what I went ahead and did is I put the hauling posts back in on top. We're going to go ahead and give these guys their full complement of 10 haulers. And they've been at work on the Earth Repopulator, up to 61% now. Food is still, it's bad, but it's going to get better. Gonna get better, especially once we stop having a billion beavers. So I do appreciate the idea of having more and more and more of these things put in, but it simply is too many breeding pods. So yeah, we're going to have these 12 at the very least paused up here. We'll see what we're going to be able to take care of when we get around to doing whatever. But yeah, 41 homeless beavers now. We just got to stop having that many beavers. How did our power do? Looks like we might have actually been... No, it's still draining. It's still draining, so we actually had enough. Nice. Water is very slowly recovering, and it should be fine long term. It's just, you know, one of those things that takes time. So this will refill. Slowly turn these wheels, and hopefully this can recharge before the end of this one. But yeah, I think if we hadn't had the... See, look, the food's super low. It's super low. What's going to happen? Uh-oh. Oh, no. But if we hadn't had so many extra beavers for literally no reason, I know the reason is because we bred them. Look, I'm not that dumb. But if we hadn't had this problem, we probably would have still been okay. It's just been such a weird balancing act with the food. I don't even know really what else there is to say. Outside of, you know, maybe we just don't need to have this path here either, because they can just go up this way to take that same deal. I guess it's probably, like, I hardly ever see beavers actually use this. I'm not going to get rid of the ladder, though. That can stay. That's fine. I don't know, wait, what? That guy just took a shortcut? How did that... Okay, whatever. But I think, like, we're always out of cassava. We're always out of cassava, so I guess I'll just plant another row of that. Why not? Why not? Wait, hold on. All right, what are you? Oh, you work at the Gatherer flag. Okay. All right, that was always allowed. Wait a second. I don't need this one to stay here. This guy can reach all that. Well, it's not like we have a shortage of beavers to work, so that's probably fine. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll let him do that. And then I feel like I really should be growing stuff that's going to have the highest possible yield, but it's been so wild on what we've had versus not had, all that I don't really know what else to grow. I know we got more corn here. We don't need to grow any more eggplant. In theory, if everything else is balanced out, it should still be enough. But I kind of, it's only 3, but it is 3 per square. Then the recipe for doing those does multiply it by 6, so the eggplant is kind of OP. I don't know, man. It's been such a mess trying to figure out the food for 500 beavers all at once. We do still have 2 of the frog statues here, so don't worry. Don't worry, the beavers can still get their fix of the frog statue, and pretty much all of them have it. So no problems there. We probably still need to put in some more campfires, which is weird because we have, what, 5, 7? Well, 7 might actually not be that many. If anything, we might have too much wood. I know we have all this space back here I haven't done anything else with, but they're still not, you know, they're not getting rid of all this. That's the wrong one. They're not getting rid of all these trees. I guess I just need more lumberjacks, maybe? But they're not making use of all of the trees. And the storage isn't even full, so it's just these guys are lazy. Their log storage gets full locally and they don't want to take it somewhere. Like, is that what this is? I don't even know, man. Wow, there's still... Well, because this is still filling up. Of course, that's going to be what it is. So, somebody left a comment saying that a whole lot of our water was going off the side of the dam instead of going into the reservoir down here. That's not the case. Look at this. It's not high enough to go over the dam. It has to be like here. So, it is primarily filling up the reservoir and then also turning the wheels a little bit. This is okay. Also, we're pumping out a ton of it. And at one point we had, what, 11 or 1,200 water? So I guess it's fine. Now we do only have the 20 pumps because I took those 2 out, but I guess this is okay. I do have the haulers just taking it right here, and that's a super simple fix. But man, it's there's just so much going on. There's so many moving parts that we have to try to keep a hold of. And you know, it's not a quick process. It never ends. Just eternal problems. It's always what happens. 73% of the way through these mushrooms, which of course means the algae is a lot further behind. A lot further behind. That's going to help a lot. But again, it just takes so much time. I feel like, I don't know, some people just don't appreciate. I say appreciate, I don't mean admire. I mean appreciate as in grasp the concept of the situation at hand. It is just, you have this many beavers on this small of a map, relatively, with such limited resources for growing food, and we're trying to grow all of the food, not just, you know, plunk down 40 hydroponic farms and just feed them mushrooms all the time, which would be a very, very efficient way of doing it if you have little farmland. Like if I were trying to do 500 beavers of diorama, that's probably what I would do. But we're trying to give them all of the food, and you can see right now it's at 300. Just because it comes and goes in waves, because some of the food takes a really long time to grow, so then you have none, but then it all comes in at once. But it's the only thing available, so it gets eaten, so you don't really get a good idea of how it functions as part of the whole if it is the only thing available. You kind of have to have a huge surplus of everything before you get a good idea of how much of each is actually being consumed, just by virtue of what the beavers want to do versus what they have available. It's like, I don't know, you know, like the store starts running out of toilet paper, and then everybody panic buys toilet paper, and then nobody has toilet paper except the one guy who bought 2 storage units full of it and is trying to hawk it on Facebook Marketplace for 5 times what he paid for it. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't do that. I cannot explain to you just how infuriated it makes me when people do that kind of stuff. But anyway, this is a beaver game, not the toilet paper wars. So we'll go ahead and move right on past that. And I mean, I just don't know what else to do for this playthrough except wait to see what else is going to happen with our food situation. We clearly don't need to plant any more trees, so I kind of don't even want to do anything else over here. And like, I guess we could put farms over there, but we haven't run out of food yet. So I still think what we've got in terms of farming is probably okay if everything can just equalize out. So, we're at the point again, since we've done this for how many episodes now? We have 2 time lapses, and one of them is the very end that has all the beard booster credits and everything in it. We're in that part again, folks. So, you see the names on the screen. Those folks are making it possible for us to still do these playthroughs past the first couple episodes and really just sink our teeth in, dive in, and have a nice long playthrough where we try to do some really cool stuff. And I think this playthrough has been a whole lot of fun. I really like the Update 6 stuff, and I know this isn't the first one we've done in Update 6, but I think this has been the best one so far. Doesn't mean it's going to be the best one forever, because I do like to have everything, you know, kind of have this progression of trying something we haven't tried before, or one-upping something that we've done in the past. So, hopefully, the rest of them are going to be fun. We did get a hint on social media today as of the recording of this video, yesterday as of the posting of this video for the general public, that the Update 7 stuff is in the works, and they got some cool stuff. Go check it out. I guess we could call it beaver tubes for some sort of like subterranean transit options, or you could put them above ground or whatever. And now a very, very commonly requested feature to put terrain on top of platforms and on top of overhangs, whatever. apparently might be a thing in Update 7, so we'll see when that comes out. Still don't have any idea when that's actually going to become available for people to play with in experimental mode, but you better believe we're going to be on that as soon as it hits the Steam store. So, like I said, appreciate you being here. We'll go ahead and exit the time-lapse now and see what we got accomplished in terms of waiting for stuff to equalize. All right, so we're going to end the episode here. I know, I'm going to get absolutely flamed. We have 63 water, 47 food, 40 food, 33 food, 32 food, 28 food, 26 food, 24 food, 21 food, 23. Okay, it's not going to completely crash. But we have very, very firmly discovered that we didn't have enough food growing, even though I thought we might. We didn't quite have enough food growing, so yeah. We did do a little bit of a fix. You know, we saw during the time-lapse I made this interesting little pattern in farmland here, but all of this stuff is going to take time to grow, so we'll see what happens. We're going to go into episode 35 with not a whole lot of food, not a whole lot of water, a bunch of hungry, thirsty beavers, but that, once again, is all the time we have for this one. I hope you enjoyed, even though this isn't really, you know, an ideal scenario to find ourselves in. We are making progress. We're making steps. They're small steps, and sometimes it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, and then you fall off a cliff and have to climb back up. But we are making progress, and that's what matters. Again, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I know this is going to absolutely kill some of you seeing this in this way and have to wait till Monday, but that's the way it goes. We're back in the apocalypse mode, beavers, tomorrow. Then, of course, Roller Coaster Tycoon on Sunday. Hopefully see you in either of those, but if not, we'll see you right back here on Monday morning. Take care, friends. Have a good one. Bye-bye.